You're listening to Penny Dreadfuls from the Moth Sanctuary.
How green further plains must be. The clouds and the rain make their home here, and will not darken the days of others. This place takes the misery the world makes for itself, so other places will be spared of it. Flat is the land, grey is the sky. The gloom unmoved by the beseeching of the village's people. They ask for respite, sunlight and colour, and for some days in the year the sky may heed their calls to shine warmth through. But most days it stays dark and cold. I watch the grey clouds stretch on forever like an ocean. How I hate them, each miserable inch. They remind me of how far away I am from my children. Makes me wonder if I shall ever see them again. No punishment could seem more cruel to me now than that of banishment. I was a soldier. I gave my all for my king and my country. They gave me nothing in return. Then they threw me away. I long for some change from the constant wind, the saturated earth, the gaunt and wretched-looking herds, and from the people who were born here, will live their entire lives here, and will die here. They have never seen a city, and it is clear the city doesn't see them. They have been forgotten. There was a time I would have been the one to force them here. Today they are agitated. If you look around the broken down shelters these people call homes, all you will see are the aged, the weak, the tired and broken. There are no able youths, no strong men or women. It's a village blighted by a plague that will not suffer anyone to thrive. There is only one forest nearby where they could hunt for food or forage, gather wood for fires and for building, where they could find all they would need to lift themselves out of this constant state of wretchedness. They could, if not for the beast within. Whenever any of their community step across the threshold into the woods, the beast comes for them. And they, the young, strong men and women who set off to perform those tasks, are never seen again. Or so the villagers say. No one has seen it, but they're all left to deal with the consequences. Their homes are dilapidated, their stomachs bare, and their families ever emptier. They stay away from the forest and tend to their small collection of goats and cows and chickens, hide in their homes and clutch at their talismans to protect them from the monster in the woods. I don't believe in monsters. There are beasts in the wild and there are beasts among men. I have faced both. So I shall again. These people are afraid of this beast, and they have no one to protect them. If I must, I shall be a soldier once more, and shall rid them of it. But this is not like before. There is no armory here, and very little by the way of weapons. These are farmers, not fighters. I have whatever I was able to bring with me. A few knives, but only one good enough for hunting. I gather my rope, my net, some water, and a small amount of other supplies. Then I take my leave of the shack I call a house. As I open the door, there is a small elderly man waiting for me. I've seen him before. One of the goat farmers with a poor excuse of a flock. He bows low and extends his arms, presenting me with a long, thick branch, with one end sharpened to a point. It is a humble offering, one that may not have any benefit to me, but I accept it anyway, and bow in return. As I step out into the dwindling twilight of the afternoon, I find the old man is not alone. All over the settlement there are people looking over at us. Some are thanking me, others simply nod. Some look nervous. A woman approaches me with a small length of chain. She signals for me to lower my head. I do so, and she clasps it around my neck. It is one of their talismans. Both the chain and pendant are silver. Probably the only real silver for miles. I bow my head in thanks. The old man is still beside me, smiling hopefully. I clasp his shoulder and inform him that there's one more thing I must ask of him, and it will be a difficult thing to do. I spare the man the pain and slaughter the goat myself. He watches as the animal fights against its death, its blood collecting in a water skin. I can see he is devastated at the thinning of his already dismal herd, but he doesn't want to show it. I thank him again, sling the carcass over my shoulder, and, so armed, make my way along the path. The lumbering pines stand strong and mighty in their rank formation, looking like an army. Their canopies shade the depths of the forest, blocking out any light that may be able to break through. The black heart in a place of grey misery. It looks just like where a beast would make its home. Inside there is a hush, as if every other creature is afraid to make a sound. Pine needles breaking under my feet resound louder than they should, and I imagine that it would attract the attention of anything lurking in the gloom. I stand for a moment, listening to hear if something is clambering my way, but nothing comes. I look for trees good enough for my needs, and find two only a few yards beyond the boundary. They are strong, and the clearing beneath is just large enough to maneuver within. I throw down my supplies and set to work. The daylight is waning by the time I tie off the last of the ropes, but all is set. I grab the goat carcass and place it beneath the tree branches. Then I empty the oilskin of blood over the body and the surrounding ground, being sure to spread it as far as I can. I know I then have a matter of minutes before something catches the scent. So I set the flint to the campfire quickly. Then I climb and take my place high above the ground, waiting upon a branch. The hours of silence pass. Night has come and brought the rain with it. The woods are completely dark now, but for the fire below, and even that is in danger of being extinguished by the weather. While it still burns, there's no way it won't be seen. If the stories from the village are accurate, I'm surprised I've been allowed to be here this long without being intercepted. But my patience will last as long as needed, rain or not. A shuffle among the brush just beyond the visible trees immediately puts me on alert. It's the only sound other than the crackling of the fire and the patter of the rain that I've heard since I took my position. My right hand springs to my hunting knife, and the other to the length of rope tied around the trunk of my tree. I watch through the dark for the slightest trace of movement. Then I see it. The beast has arrived. But the shape that emerges through the towering trees is nothing that I have ever seen before. Before, my suspicions had been on a pack of wolves, or at least a lone one. But what I see defies explanation. The beast is covered in grey fur, much like a wolf, but its great, hulking frame walks on two legs and stands a good deal taller than I. It is muscular beyond that of any soldier I have met. Its legs bend at the awkward angle of a canine's hock, and where there should be a mouth, the beast has a long snout, with slavering jaws filled with sharp teeth. Its hot breath makes steam on the air. The size of the creature makes me doubt the effectiveness of my plan. But all is in place. There is no other option. The creature lumbers towards the goat carcass in position under the branch of the tree opposite to mine, sniffing the air as it walks. He inches closer to it and, satisfied the meat is not spoiled, sinks his teeth into it, tearing off skin noisily. I cut the rope, and the net, suspended directly above the bait and full of heavy stones, comes crashing down. The creature doesn't hear it fall until it's too late, and is crushed beneath it. Not sparing a moment, I leap down from my perch with my blade still in hand, ready to finish the job. But as I hit the ground, I'm stopped by the sight of the beast moving beneath the stones. First an arm emerges, then a head, on and on until the creature is completely free. Visibly injured, limping back to its feet, clutching its sides. Now it sees me, armed with my knife and fully intending to kill. My moment's hesitation has cost me any advantage I may have had. It is hurt, but still large enough to put up a worthy fight. It retreats slightly into the shade of the trees. I think it may be about to run. Instead, it calls. The unmistakable cry of one animal signaling to another. It echoes through the woods and into the dark. It's barely a few seconds before I hear them coming. The pads of many rushing feet bounding their way towards us. Then they are everywhere, surrounding us. The pack is here. All of them are of a similar size and look as the first. Monstrous. More animal than man, but inhabiting the space between. One stands out among the throng. Older, more scarred and more focused than the rest. The Alpha. It stares at me with unbridled rage, affronted at my offense. My death is an inevitability. And for this reason I choose to turn upon the scarred beast and point my blade directly at it. The flash of its eyes from my insult shows me that my challenge is understood. I am a soldier. If I am to die, I would prefer to die fighting. Heavy paws step forward, and the full size of this wolf man is revealed. Even so, I shout in its face and charge toward it. The impact strikes me like a stone wall. All at once we are lost in a tangle of limbs, skin, and hair. Its blows are harder than imagining. It is looming over me like the grey clouds of that accursed skyline, and I'm forced to the ground. Blood rushes down my face from the top of my head, flowing more quickly in the rain. This beast is larger than I. Its teeth longer and claws sharper, but I never stop. It is him or me, and I won't let it be me. An errant blow from his elbow sends pictures of my children hurtling into my head, then my home. In the confusion of bodies, my blade slips through the hide and between the beast's ribs. I have an opening. I twist the knife, withdraw, then stab again, with purpose this time. I think of all the battles that had come before. I think of how far away my children are. I think of all that I have done in the name of duty to be discarded so readily. I let the rage course through me, then I stab it again and again. It yelps and recoils, and with my free hand I grab its face and try to sink my fingers into its eyes. My thoughts go to my brothers in arms and their silence at my banishment. Loyalty means nothing, honor even less. They do not know my sacrifice, the time wasted in this pit of a village, barely surviving. The creature turns away, trying to avoid my probing fingers. I bite down hard into its neck and tear. It takes great effort, but eventually I feel the give of the skin and blood spurts into my mouth. All the while, my right hand doesn't stop moving. It stabs, slices, scratches, and cuts ceaselessly, and now there isn't a part of the beast that isn't bleeding. My mind is swimming with visions of all I have lost. Every dishonor given to me rides out in a wave of violence that nothing can withstand. The Alpha stops moving. The pack is silenced. The last weak flames of the fire are fully extinguished by the rain. I look down at my fallen foe. Through the blood, I notice something tied around its neck. I cut the string and pick it up. Even through the gloom of the forest night, I recognize it as one of the talismans worn by the people of the town. I turn to the pack. Some of the others have them too, gifted to them by loved ones to protect them as they braved the woods. I look down at the one that was given to me. It too is covered in blood. I understand now. One of the pack bows its head in submission. Another follows, and so on until each of these wolfmen are showing their subservience to me. In response, I yell at them, the anger and adrenaline still fresh. The scent of blood in the damp air arousing something within me. I can taste the blood of my enemy in my mouth and feel it lighting something inside me as it slips down my throat. I tear off my ripped and bloodied shirt. The rain lands on my bare skin, looking less skin-like than it had before. Up, I scream. Up. I slap the nearest wolf, who growls in return. Get out of the dirt. You've been down in it for too long. At first I wonder if they understand me, but one turns to the other, and in a second they all rise to their feet. You don't belong here. My voice carries clearly to each of them, cutting through the rain. Circumstance forced you here, living among the misery and the grey, and in scratching around the woods, surviving like animals, you became animals. All the while, there are those who seek to keep men like you and I here as sacrifices to their wealth, their comfort, their power. I was part of that city. I was one of those who enforced their will upon you and made you what you are now. Less than human, best kept out of sight and out of mind. Now I am among you. I know your pain. I am your brother. The throng is silent, still. Their breath steams in the humid air. But you are all men of that village. You deserved dignity. Those people who feel themselves to be more important robbed you of it. Robbed us of it. They knew when they forced you here exactly what awaited, what it would turn you into. Dozens of yellow glittering eyes follow my every step. Ears prick up to hear my blood-stained words. If I was now their leader, I would give them every reason to be led. They seek to make us beasts. They seek to make us less than men and scratch around in the dirt. If they wish it, we shall grant it. We shall become the very beasts they imagine us to be. But we shall not hide here. Look at what they have made. Look how easily you could destroy them. They think they have us pacified, exiled, isolated, or fighting among ourselves. They are wholly unprepared. Just think of all the damage one of us could do. When we are legion and charging down upon them, who will stop us? How could they? Their breathing quickens, feeding off my adrenaline-charged excitement, and I know I have them. They hear me. They believe. And they are ready to go to war. As we go, we bring others with us. We find the beastly among them and we make them one of us. We think we are strong now. With other brothers and sisters and all alike together, we shall be undeniable. Out of these trees, out of these woods, out of these wastelands. Let them know the monsters they created. Then consume them. A howl rises, first from one, and then the rest follow. They all turn, a pack of frenzy, charging in unison. I run alongside them with eyes that see anew, and breath that delivers every scent and fragrance of the forest. We shall leave none in our path untouched. There is a moment of regret for the farmers and the rabble of the village, but it is quelled, knowing that they will soon be part of the pack. Then they can have their vengeance too. I think of my home. I think of my children. My fury radiates and adds fuel to the pack's charge. Slavering lips, snarling mouths, and their footfall hurtling through the night like a great, lumbering storm. We can now see the break in the tree line. Soon we shall be clear. I can see the moon, waxing and unable to control the horde of wolfmen. She cannot stop us, nor protect those we are coming for. Our exile is ended. The world beyond awaits.
This story was written and read by Andrew Bate, with music also by Andrew Bate. Penny Dreadfuls from the Moth Sanctuary is an audiobook series by Moth Sanctuary Productions. You can subscribe to the series on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. Follow Moth Sanctuary Productions on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or for more dark delights, visit mothsanctuaryproductions.com.